gotcha. What style is that? It's my own secret technique. Bishop Chronicles. Bishop Chronicles. What's it called?
Checkmate, sucker, now the move game's over.
What's it called?
Adisa and Joko from real. That's right.
What's it called?
Certainly the black card burgundy.
It's my own secret technique. Bishop Chronicles.
Imagine if these brothers never saw a color. Would they be peaceful in the streets? Would brothers kill each other? Before we go, can you imagine? With your ears, clear your mind. Can you imagine? Paint a picture in the sky. I cannot sing, and I can obviously not rap as good as Snoop, and I can't sing as good as D'Angelo, you know what I'm saying? But that was Imagine. That's one of my best favorite peaceful tracks in the history of Earth. In fact, you know what? Hip hop doesn't get enough respect for all the songs about peace it's always made. I'm going to just say that right now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Drizzy, all damn Dizzy, and the whole West Side. Thank you for listening to FarsideTV.com. You are locked into the Bishop Chronicles. And as always, I am your host, Adisa, the Bishop, a.k.a. the Black Dragon of the West Side, a.k.a. Zato Ichi. It's right over left, right? I'm looking at my reflection. Wakanda. A.k.a. the South Bay Shogun, a.k.a. the Iron Hook Assassin. That's what they call me. What? Give me that arm, boy. I will. Yeah, you know what it is. Also known as the Hood's Black Ron Burgundy. How you doing, baby? Understand that ain't nobody triller than me, homeboys and girls. Bishop Chronicles is the world's first podcast bringing you West Coast perspectives on hip-hop, health, and fitness trends. Understand that ain't nobody out there lacing your cranium with this here vibranium like Adisa. No. Dis. Yeah, I mean? That's what's happening. So you can be down now or you can bow down later because the West Coast OGs, what do? We stay greater. Fool. Stop acting silly like I won't clothesline you right in the yeah, man. Let me tell you right now. If this is your first time tuning in, all right, understand that this may not be the best thing. How about it show enough is the West thing? How about it show enough is the West thing? How about it show enough is the West thing? Wakanda. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, man. You know this drill. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, you know what I mean? Mixcloud. Come on, man. Stop playing. We're everywhere, bro. We're everywhere. And we're growing. People are checking for us. And you know what? Like high-powered fools are starting to hit me up. That's what's tripping me out. You know what I mean? When real dudes, G's, killers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding, FBI. When real people who are factors in the game hit you up and it's like, hey, player, I really like what you singing out there, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, oh, what? For real, bro? Yeah, you know, we do. But yeah, no, I appreciate the love. You know what I'm saying? And if you're brand new, let me just tell you right now, you need to go check out my last one. You know what I'm saying? About how I think hip hop can help open the door for peace between the Black and Asian tensions. You know what I'm saying? You should check out the RZA interview. You should check out my Mel D. Cole, man. Come on, man. He's one of the best photographers ever in hip hop, bro. And ever in terms of photojournalism, what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? You need to check that out. You know what I'm saying? You need to go back. You know what I'm saying? Check out my Strategic Life of Tupac show. You ain't listening to that in this Corona season, boy. You better get yourself up there, you know what I'm saying? But the BCP army is growing, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, me and Mike, we just appreciate the follows. We appreciate the shares. Every time you hear a show that you like, you should share it with just 2 people, man. Just 2 people that you really think are going to listen. I ain't going to say, oh, send it to everybody. No, but just send it to 2 people that you actually think going to listen. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, welcome. You know, you dealing with the Hood's Black Ron Burgundy. You know what I'm saying? Live and direct. And now it is time for heartbeat props. right? Why do we do this? Because life is fragile, and last year I lost more people than I've ever lost before. But even before then, I was going through and doing Heartbeat Props. Heartbeat Props was inspired by Digital Underground. Shout out to Money B, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the whole digital crew. And it's about giving people their props now. So I'm gonna shout some people out. You know what I mean? And you will go follow them. First up on the Heartbeat Props, drum roll, at Chess Club Live, straight across, Chess Club Live. Go follow my people. You know what I'm saying? They post a lot of dope stuff about chess culture all around the world. You know what I'm saying? And they got love for Bishop Chronicles. So I want you to follow them and give love. You know what I'm saying? The purpose of Heartbeat Props is to give thanks to people while they're alive, right? So you don't be at their funeral or posting all kind of stuff on their Facebook page after they die, like, man, it was hella cool, bro. Stop. Say it now. You know what I'm saying? And tell people why. Like, I appreciate your support. You feel me? Or, you know what I'm saying? You can give Heartbeat Props to anybody, your mom, your dad, your cousin, your baby mom, and she might get in your nerves, but you know, you cool for that though. All right, then I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So also at Fabby Davis Jr. 1. Fabby Davis Jr., man, I'm talking about the dude who created Dope Air. I'm talking about one of the dudes. You know what my crazy Fabby Davis story is, Mr. Fab story is? And I even tell him this when I interviewed him. You should check that show out. But one of my biggest memories of him as an artist is what was the show? Only in the Bay people know what this is. Right now, I'm kind of sleep deprived. So what was the show they used to do at People's Park in Berkeley? Used to be lit. One year, Fab showed up with Zion I. Shout out to Zion I. When you coming on the show, bro? Come on, stop playing. The Most High, though. Fab, he gets on. And now I know I'm about to get a ticket because, you know, the little people are putting around on them things, handing out tickets because the place is packed, right? So he starts freestyling, going off the dome. Boom, he rocking, whole crowd. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to leave, but I can't get a ticket, right? Because I love Fab, but I can't pay $50 to watch him freestyle. You know what I'm saying? So I run, pay. It was far. And run back. Get back there. Why is he still bussing? And the whole crowd still, hey. And they kept going, and he still killed it. I'll never, ever forget that memory. And that ain't got nothing to do with why I'm putting him in the Heartbeat Props. You know why I'm putting him in Heartbeat Props? Because when all this stuff started going down between these young folks really overdoing it, tripping out, attacking these elderly Asian people, which is some of the most cowardly and uncivilized stuff I've ever seen in all my days. You know what I'm saying? He was the first rapper that I knew in the Yay that spoke out. A lot of y'all could have and should have, and a lot of y'all still can and should. But he spoke out first, put it on video, shared it, and I was really deeply impressed. I mean, that's not the first time he impressed me, but in this time when stuff is super crucial, you know what I'm saying? Your voice matters. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Fab for that. Also at Hip Hop for Change for putting together an event that's coming up. Follow them at Hip Hop, the number 4 Change, because they're doing an event about Black and Asian unity. And it's important that we do not let the media, politicians, anybody get in the way of our history of unity here in the Bay or anywhere in America. I don't care. All right. Now, there's a lot of stuff to unpack. If you check my last show, you already see my position, but I also know there's more layers to it. Stop playing. You talking to the man, I'm the South Bay Shogun, boy. You ain't talking to no dummy, bro. But what I'm saying is we have to start having these conversations. And Hip Hop for Change is one of those people starting to lead from the front. And this is when we find out what hip hop is really capable of. You know, people like to sit around and be all hella like almost religious with their hip hop. Hip hop can change this, and hip hop and we have rapper holy books, and we're gonna have a seat, blood. Stop trying to create a cult and just do the work, would you? Seriously. If hip hop has healing power between blacks and Asians, now there's time. We're going to figure it out. You know what I mean? And so I'm excited about what Hip Hop for Change has been doing. Shout out to Coffrey, you know what I'm saying, and everybody, boy, you know what I mean? And finally, the final heartbeat props goes to if it at YBCA. Yerba Buena Center for the Arts at YBCA. Blood, what? People trying to send me messages in the middle, blood? You know what I'm saying? Why they trying to holler at a scholar right now, man? I'm recording, man. You know what I'm saying? Yerba Buena Center of the Arts just named your boy, Adisa. I don't know, how do I do it? I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. I was just named YBCA 100 honoree. Thank you. I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank my friends. Shout out to mom and dad for bringing me into the world. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, really, I was named a YBCA a 100 honoree. I've got a lot of great company. You know what I'm saying? My boy Davey D. You know what I'm saying? Homegirl Jazz. You know what I'm saying? Kaba Conte. Blood. I see you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of us. There's a lot of really amazing educators, art people, tech people doing amazing things in the Bay and some folks outside of the Bay, man. You know what I'm saying? Impacting this world in beautiful ways. And so I want to thank the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Hussein, you know what I'm saying? Rashid, bro, you know what I'm saying? West Coast OGs, you know what I'm saying? Photographers. And I just want to say that I appreciate being named an honoree, and I look forward to doing more stuff, and I'm grateful. And, you know, to be honest, you know, these last 2 or 3 years have been kind of hard on a player, and I didn't expect to get this award, and I'm truly grateful, and I'm gonna continue. Like, it really did inspire me in a lot of ways, because sometimes, and I know you feel it too, you do what you do with your best intent, you just be like, man, does anybody, and awards really aren't the litmus test of everything that you do and how you should value what you do. I did a lot of years with no awards, and I mainly no awards, to be honest, but you do it, and then you get some acknowledgement, or somebody opens a door, somebody helps you get some funding or whatever, and it helps your whole life. So I'm super grateful, because I didn't expect that, and I am supremely grateful. Follow at YBCA, Yerba Buena Center of the Arts. And now it's time for the West Coast word of the week. Yeah, West Coast word of the week. Why do we do it? We do it so that you don't get beat up, fool, when you come out here acting like, you know, when people speak to you and you don't understand what's really popping, you get smacked up or jacked. You know what I'm saying? Not that that should happen, but it's like anytime you go, if I was coming to your hood and you didn't tell me what to say and what not to say, you didn't tell me, hey, bro, take that off, take that hat off. Like, I know, like, if you go to Chicago, man, you wear your bill the wrong way on your baseball hat, you can catch it. You know what I'm saying? I don't even wear baseball hats when I'm in the Chi. I don't even get out of the airport, actually. I've never really been to Chicago. I'm always just going planes. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Reds of Vic Jiu-Jitsu. What I am going to say, though, is that the West Coast word of the week is swoop. Swoop. You know what I mean? It's just really simple. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you a scenario. You met a fresh chick. You know what I'm saying? You was posted with the homies. You know what I'm saying? You was in the Mission District. You know what I'm saying? You was over there off Story and King and San Ho. You know what I'm saying? You was coming up out of the Dope Era store with your fresh gear, and you came up on a number, and then, you know what I'm saying, she sent you the text, you talking, woo woo, and then you like, what's up, girl? She's like, how you doing? What's up? Oh, you know, man, I was thinking about you just now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you were for real? I was, though. Well, what you talking about? What you doing right now? Well, you know, I'm kind of hungry. Oh, you know, I'm kind of hungry too. Well, girl, I'm gonna swoop through, and we're gonna go get some vegan sandwiches. You down for that? Oh, I really never had no sandwiches that was vegan before. Was it good? Girl, didn't I just tell you it was good? Let the OG swoop through, and it'll be popping the most. She'd be like, for real, you gonna swoop me up? And then she go, hey, hey, and everybody's, hey, hey, and then it's lit. Swoop. Swoop is the word. It's the word, it's the word, it's the word, it's got groove, it's got feeling. So look, so now it is time for the haiku. You know, haiku, man, let me tell you right now. I'm going to just keep it real with you. I'm working on a whole book of haikus, a sick book of haikus. And that's not even counting the book I'm about to finish right now. I got a whole book of haikus, sick ones, getting ready to drop in a whole new way. Shh, I'm almost telling you too much shit. A haiku is a Japanese poem of 3 lines. The first line has 5 syllables, the second 7 syllables, and the third 5. These are not words. You got to count it out. Syllables. You know what I'm saying? Syllables, right? Now, they do not have to rhyme, although most of mine do rhyme. Although recently the ones that I've been doing haven't rhymed. So, Mike, on this one, you know what I'm gonna need? I'm gonna need that West Coast ocean, nighttime, styly scene. I'm gonna need just the ocean and some birds. Like the sun is setting. It's not night, but it's like sunset. You know what I mean? Let me get some birds, not like a straight jungle forest, but like birds. You know what I mean? Right. Right. All right. Now, here we go. De-escalation at 7.83 hertz. Look for 30 birds. Levels. You don't even, let me take that from the top. Rewind selector. De-escalation at 7.83 hertz. Look for 30 birds. Yo, what am I doing, man? What is he doing? Where am I taking you? Let me tell you where I'm taking you. Let me break that down. Let me get a top zero on that. You know what I mean? Let me break that down. Let me kick the hook on y'all. You know what I mean? De-escalation. I've been talking to you about the importance of meditating. I've been meditating heavily, and it's hard to get consistent at meditating, right? I tell you, go on Spotify. They have a guided meditation thing. If you don't know how to do it, or if you want to go to a place, learn how to meditate. I do transcendental meditation. But what I've done recently, about a year ago, I came across planetary frequencies, right? And I started meditating to, I think it was like Jupiter's sound, the sound of Jupiter. But the other day I was on Instagram, and this dude was talking about the frequency of the earth. So I went and pulled it up. It's 7.83 hertz, 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 not hertz like, you know what I'm saying? Hertz, you know what I'm saying? So if you can pull up on YouTube the frequency of the actual planet and meditate to that frequency, just listening to it is an important thing. But if you meditate to it, very powerful. And 30 Birds is a book that everyone on the planet should read. If you have Audible, look up Conference of the Birds by Attar, Attar. He's one of the best storytellers ever, one of the best poets ever. Conference of the Birds. And it's an amazing story, right? About 30 birds that want to meet God and their journey. Crazy. Amazing. I read that story almost 25 years ago for the first time, but I didn't realize it had so many layers. And the one on Audible is just ridiculously authentic. I'm getting chills right now. 30 Birds, Conference of the Birds. All right. So when you meditate to the sound of the earth and you understand what the 30 birds found on their journey to see God, you'll understand that haiku. I'm up out of here. You know what I mean? Not just, I mean, the haiku's out. It's on to the next, on to the next. And we're talking about chess life and strategy. Look, man, everybody out here now, because everybody's seeing Queen's Gambit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's starting to go see Critical Thinking on Amazon. What? You haven't seen Critical Thinking on Amazon? Are you tripping? Is it crack that you smoke? Is it crack? Please go watch. Please go watch that. Critical Thinking. But what's my point? Now everybody know about chess in life, right? Like HHCF ain't been out here since 2006, babe. You know what I mean? Google it. Adisa Hip Hop Chess Federation. Boop. You gonna see. I've been talking about this. I've been teaching about this, right? Bobby Bruce in the Bronx. It's a book you can get on Amazon, or you can just go to hiphopchess.blogspot.com and download the PDF for free. I don't even take any information. You just get yours. But that's just the intro to chess and life strategy. Let me tell you, hey, come here, bro. Can I lace you? I'm gonna tell you something extra that's not in the book. This is important. One of the things that's happened because everybody's quarantining and we're working from home and we doing school from home. We supposed to be working out from home, and it gets monotonous, right? And we be like, man, this is weak, bro. You know what I'm saying? Listen, everything ain't everything all the time. Meaning, you know what I'm saying? Everything ain't everything that you want it to be all the time. If this is a time to study, then that's what it is. If this is the time to work, then do your work. If this is the time to work out, homie, this is 24-hour fitness, jazzercise, whatever. You got to do it. You know what I'm saying? CrossFit, you know what I'm saying? Cheerleading, b-boying, you know what I'm saying? Jiu-jitsu, and you figure it out. But here's the point. In chess, sometimes you can get satisfied because you check somebody. And then you might check them again. And then you might check them again. But if you don't checkmate him, the game is not over. Until the king is finished, he is not finished. Check is never enough. Finish what you start. I'm going to give you an example. So I applied to Oxford University about 6 months ago for this program they had, and I got rejected. It bothered me, but I had to look up, you know what I'm saying? If chess teaches you anything, it's you're going to lose and you'll need to come back. Same with jiu-jitsu, right? Same with hip hop. If you think you're fixing to battle somebody. So I wrote some better pieces, came up with a better idea. I got some help from some amazing professors, Dr. David Timoney, shout out Delaware Valley University. And shout out to Dr. Jeffrey Ogbar, you know what I'm saying, over at UConn. And they helped me put together my second application. And I put a lot of stuff together, but it was not done, right? And I started kind of getting self-satisfied, but really I was afraid to apply. There was a small corner of my heart that was like, man, the first time, you know, I didn't really have enough time to prepare the way I was hoping to, but this time I did. And the prospect of getting rejected was really messing with my brain. And so finally, I literally got down to the last day that I could turn it in. And I sat down like 2 days before, actually. I started combing through it. I went back and forth with Dr. Ogbar, went back and forth with Dr. Timoney, and I got my letters of recommendation from some other folks. Shout out to y'all the real MVPs. And I was able to submit it. Terrifying. The scariest day of my recent life was hitting submit on that thing where it goes, you have now submitted to Oxford University. Thank you. Horribly terrifying. But what's the point? The point is, my friend, you really can't get self-satisfied because you recorded most of your record, or you wrote most of your book, or you finished most of your homework, or you cleaned most of your bedroom, right? You did most of the business plan. Finish it. Check is not enough. Checkmate. That's what we play for. Checkmate. Finish what you start. Not for any other reason, but because you know that you can. And you know that you should. All right. Now, I'm always giving good advice. Here's my latest advice. This is some financial advice. True story. There's a place called Bill Genius. One of the things that's ruining people's credit is they have leftover bills that start messing up their credit score, and then they can't get what they need. Right? They can't do what they want to do. I want to get that car. I want to apply for that house. You can't do it because your credit's jacked up. And a lot of times these little bills. So check it out. What Bill Genius does is they have a group of people that call the people you have bills to, and they negotiate it down. It's a free service. When I tell you that it's free, it's actually free. You don't pay anything. You sign up, and then they start trying to lower your bills. Now, if they get money from that, they take a small portion of what they got because they got you money, but you don't pay them anything. You don't pay anything. One of my homies had a cable bill, $450. Saved him $450. Who don't need that kind of money right now? Who don't need that kind of money right now? Right? So what you can do is hit up igoboom.com, igoboom.com. igoboom, BUUM.com. Right? They got a group code 47331. Nope, 473331. There you go. The group code is 473331. All right? You can sign up. It's a free thing. And you'll save money. And you need to save money. I need to save money. I got bills I'm having them handle right now. I'm not lying. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to get my credit right. I'm trying to get my money right. And it's a free service. How can you not want that? Who doesn't need to pay a little less on a bill? Even if it's $10, even if it's $5, let alone 20, 30 or whatever, right? Or to get it go away. Come on. Come on. Come on. So healthy tip of the week right now is simply this. This is going to sound corny, but I'm serious. One of the main things you need to do this year, and I think I mentioned this before, but I'm super serious, is you stay out of the hospital and you stay out of the doctor's office by any means necessary. That means if you're working out at home, don't be trying to overdo it. All right, brother, I'm going to pick it up one more. Oh, my neck and my back. Stay out of the hospital, right? If you playing hoops by yourself, don't be trying to overdo it. I'm like tomahawk from the top of the key. Oh, my ankle, right? No, stay out. And one of the things you also got to really do to stay out is take care of your teeth. You've got to take care of your teeth. All right? Because you're at home, make sure that you brush after every meal for real. Most people, you know how there was always that weird guy at work who brought a toothbrush to work? He was actually smart. She was actually smart. They were actually smart. Got to take care of your teeth. Get your floss on, right? Experiment with different toothpaste. See what works for you and your gums and all of that, right? Get your little floss popping, right? And I'm going to give you a really dope thing that you can do. It's called oil pulling. You take specifically coconut oil, ideally, put like half a teaspoon in your mouth and you swish it around for like 15 minutes. Feels weird the first time you do it. Like you got a loogie stuck in, but you got to swish it around. Then you spit it out into the toilet and rinse your mouth out 3 times with water. Look it up. It's called oil pulling. It helps remove bacteria from your teeth. That's going to help you not get cavities. You don't want cavities. You don't want any gum disease. You don't want to have to go to the dentist if you don't want to go. Stay out of the hospital. It's so crucial. It is so crucial that you stay out of the hospital. All right. And so that's what it is. You can ask Giz, hey, who said that line? That's what it is. You can ask Giz. You don't listen to old school hip hop, man. Get out of here. But and so on my final shouts out, man, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you, the listener. You know what I'm saying? The person who shared this with their homie. I want to thank the person who, you know what I'm saying? I get like such, sometimes people send me a message and be like, yo, I got the book that you said to get and it's so cool. I'm like, oh man, that's great. Yo, I went to Audible and I got, man. And I don't get paid for none of that. I probably should figure out how to monetize that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't, because it's just important to me that you're happier, that you're healthier, that you're doing whatever you want to do with your life with a higher sense of joy. That's my payoff, player. For real. For real. You better believe I don't get paid to do none of this. Me and Mike, you know what I'm talking about? Labor of love. That's what this is, huh? Black and Asian unity. Bishop Chronicles. How about that? So you know what I'm going to tell you right now, don't you? You do. Defend your smile. All right. Smiles are the fingerprints of the souls. No two people smile alike. Even identical twins do not smile the same. Look at their pictures. Look at their pictures. Everybody smiles different. All right. So no matter what goes on in the world, you have to make sure that you protect a portion of your spiritual heart, a portion of your mind that nobody can get to. Don't let nobody ruin your day. Don't let nobody make you cry. Don't let nobody upset you that heavily that you can't smile. You preserve your smile. You know what I'm saying? If you see a hater, you got to let them know. Just tell them, understand, if my joy brings you pain, then you're going to need some Novocaine. You heard me? Remember to win the day standing on love and logic, right? So you come in with compassion, but you think for yourself, right? Now, enjoy your week and go be great. You are about to see an amazing, fun interview that I just did with the multi-talented, super gifted, super wise, and super kind John Leguizamo. I was trying to get this interview for like 6 or 8 months. I finally got it by the blessing and the grace of Carla Berkowitz, who is the executive producer, and she's in this interview as well. And we have a great conversation about what it means to be a woman in Hollywood, what it means to be Latino in Hollywood, what it meant to do the movie Critical Thinking, which everybody should go see. It's such a great film. It's such a great film. I know everybody's talking about The Queen's Gambit, and it should be talked about, but Critical Thinking, man, is a powerful chess film that more people need to see, okay? Everybody needs to see it. If you like Queen's Gambit, you're going to love Critical Thinking. You need to get on. So this is me and John Leguizamo talking so much about hip hop, about chess, about how he ended up, this is a directorial debut, right? About certain methods around acting. You know what I'm saying? Carla's breaking down stuff about how they made the film, certain obstacles that she had to overcome being a woman. And it is a beautiful conversation. I want you to check this out. I want you to soak this in. I want you to understand that for Black History Month, a big part of what I'm pushing is Black and Asian unity, Black and brown unity, and trying to help people understand and remember those kinds of connections because they're important. You know what I'm saying? This is America. We have a great opportunity here in this country that nobody else has, and that's to actually talk to one another, spend time with one another, and learn from one another in ways that in other parts of the world is just not possible. Not even just because the government is bad or whatever. They don't have access to these people. We have access to each other. We can be, should be, better be enriching each other with our own knowledge of self and gaining knowledge of the other. So I'm done. Bishop Chronicles, Critical Thinking, John Leguizamo, Carla Berkowitz, West Side for what? Life. See ya. All right, peace to the planet Earth. You know what it is, man. Adisa the Bishop Boy, West Side all day. Listen, I am so juiced. Y'all don't even understand, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, DC be talking about hip hop and chess. Oh yeah, DC be talking about Black and brown unity. And what do I do? How does God bless me in this moment? Puts you in the show with John Leguizamo, man. Welcome to Bishop Chronicles, man. How are you?
Oh, thank you for having me, man. I feel so honored to be asked to be on your podcast, and, Dude, and glad that we're both in London. So, we're on the same GMT schedule.
Come on, man.
Greenwich Mean Time.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, I am so juiced to have you on the show because of Critical Thinking, but it's so much bigger than that, because if you rewind the clock back to the early 90s when I first started covering hip hop, and my family, is from the South, but originally from the Mission District. And so, I work at John O'Connell High School for hella years, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to G and you know what I'm saying, Leo, everybody over at John O'Connell. Like, the Bay loves you, man. Like, do you know that the Bay Area really loves you?
Oh my God.
Do you know that?
I know I didn't know that, but I performed there a lot, and I had such a great time when I go to the Bay Area. It's just a great crowd. They helped me create Freak when I was doing Freak back in the day, back in the late 90s. The Bay supported me and gave me the courage to keep thinking that I had some good material that the world wanted to see.
Man, that was the first time I think I was cognizant of you. You know what I'm saying? And I fell in love with everything about the way you did your stand-up. It was so human and it was so Mission. I'm telling you, I was like, he's not from the Mission. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, you really struck me like that,
I get that feel a lot too. Like, I meet West Coast folk and I go, are they from Brooklyn?
Exactly.
Are they transplants from Queens? Yeah. Are they from the BX? Because there's the flavor sometimes is so similar. You're like, I know that flavor. That can't be West Coast.
Yeah, no, it's true. So tell me, I'm in London. I'm working on a book, getting ready to try to knock some journalism stuff out. What are you doing out here, man?
I mean, COVID. You think Corona? You're like, oh, this is like time for me to really, lock down and just relax and think about, be grateful about shit. All of a sudden, I got more work than ever because now you're accessible. Everybody knows you're not working.
Right. I know you at home. Pick up. Don't pick up, Leguizamo.
Yeah, don't pretend like
we know you here, bro. We know you here.
We know you're in your hotel room quarantining, so you can do this podcast. You can do this interview. You can do this pitch.
You can read the script, bro. You can't read the script.
Yeah, right. Liar. We know you're alone. So I'm doing an Amazon TV series, beautiful sci-fi, powerful thing. Right. I'm not allowed to say too much about it, but
keep it low,
it's
man.
A great story.
I don't want you breaking no non-disclosure agreements. You know what I'm saying?
And then I just did in my hotel room. They built a set, and I did Waiting for Godot, the first time it was allowed to be filmed with Ethan Hawke, Tariq, Black Thought from The Roots.
What?
Yeah.
What?
We all did it. People were in Israel, LA, New York, London. We coordinated schedules. We Zoomed the whole
That is bonkers.
It was bonkers. I'm recovering. I rapped last night at 4 a.m. And
So double thank you for doing the show then right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. No, I'm giddy.
It's all good.
That's me anyway.
Well, yo, man, I want to say, of course, I thought you was from the Mission, but of course you're from New York, and New York hip hop basically transformed the way the planet saw young people in urban music and Black and brown unity and all this stuff. I was just curious, like when you think about hip hop, your experience as a fan and as just an observer, like what are some of your first or best memories? Maybe being at shows, maybe it could be tagging with your homeboys, it could be somebody in their room DJing. Like what are some of the things that you remember?
Well, the whole hip hop culture was a Black and Latin thing. There's so many Latin contributors to hip hop culture that don't get any credit, like Crazy Legs for inventing the floor work. All that floor work was his creation. The Fab Five Freddy, there was a Latin dude that was part of the hip hop crew. And then the photographer, I can't remember the Latin guy's name, Puerto Rican brother.
Joe Conzo, man.
Filmed the whole documented the whole hip hop movement.
Joe Conzo, man. 70s. Yeah, he was one of the main ones. In fact, man, they just did a story on him. Somehow he ended up getting evicted out of his spot recently. It's unbelievable. And it has to do with like landlord laws and stuff like that. It's really crazy. He's like
Corona's going to have a lot of tragedies, man. We should have froze rents. We should have forgiven mortgages. I mean, that's the first thing you do, but
you know what I'm saying?
We had a different president, and now we have a better president.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
We have a president who cares about every man, every woman. You know what
I'm saying? And
everyday people
trying to make stuff work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But by hip hop, it was a highlight of my life. I can't remember where the club was, but it was on Madison Avenue in the mid 30s in New York City, mid 30 streets.
Yeah.
And I go to this hip hop debut album, and Biz Markie comes in, KRS-One, Tretch, Naughty by Nature.
Oh my God.
Queen Latifah. Because, it was all New York for the most part. And they were all there, man. And I was just like,
whoa.
What? And I was coming up there like, man, I'm a big fan of
Girl, hug it out.
You got what I need.
Come on.
And you say he's just a friend.
Come on. I think. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that is bonkers, man. So thank you for sharing that, by the way. You know what I mean? Because one of the things that I try to capture when I'm doing these podcasts isn't so much like anything about hip hop other than the experience of the fan, because that's what makes the culture and everything moves forward. Your favorite shows, you know what I'm saying, getting up with your homeboy, tagging, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Those things are really beautiful, man.
Oh my God, I was a terrible tagger. I was so bad. My best friend who I
still am a terrible tagger.
You too? Crash. Crash is one of the huge innovators. His name is Juan Matos, but his tag name is Crash. He was he turned it into an art form. Yeah. And he's in museums and whatnot. But he had photo albums, sketches, And I would have my big ass Sharpie back in the day, the super stanky one that almost made you pass out when
the
you
Magnum 44. Do you remember the Magnum 44? It had the head. The thing was like that.
Yeah, that massive. And the stank that came out, you were like,
it was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You were huffing,
exactly.
you didn't even know you were huffing.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on one second. We've got Carla Berkowitz checking in.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Carla.
How are you?
John, it's been a while.
Oh my God, been forever.
I know. Well,
Right.
okay.
There you are.
How are you?
What's up with the Netflix, John?
Oh, you mean yeah. They just released
Yeah.
we found out the other day that Netflix Canada released it, but not USA, just Netflix Canada.
Just
Not
Canada.
Wishful
yet.
thinking.
Not yet.
Not yet. That's right. You heard it from Carla here first.
Not yet. Anyway,
Man.
Are you in your closet?
okay. I do that on purpose so I can be asked that question every time, so I perfect my answer. No, it's actually an office, but it's really a dressing room. It's a huge room I took over for my closet. I have your face right behind me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's just a big office / dressing room. So,
Oh, gotcha. Or a shoe museum.
or I do love my shoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adisa, what's up?
Hey, chilling. How are you living?
Good. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I
Oh,
just turned
happy
51
birthday, man.
yesterday. Yeah, I turned 51 yesterday.
No, get out.
Yeah. 51.
No.
51, man. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
get out, man. You're 51.
I swear. Double swear.
Oh, God.
You know? So hold on one second here. So what I wanted to ask you was, Carla Berkowitz, how did you meet John? And John, when did you decide like this was going to be a movie? You know what I'm saying? That you wanted to do.
Go ahead, Carla.
Me?
Yeah.
I had been already working on the movie Adisa for like I'm going to say 17 years at that point, which actually sounds longer than 20. I'm not sure why, but it just does. Anyway, after about 17 years, John came into the picture, and I'll let him explain. And after that happened, things pretty much went, rapid fast, and everything gelled together, and we produced what we produced. So I'll let John say how he got involved, but it was pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
After that,
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, when Carla brought the story to me about these 5 Latin and Black kids from the toughest town in Miami, Overtown, who became United States national chess champions of 1998, and then the teacher Mary Martinez, who coached them, went on to win 5 more championships with same like-minded kids from the same neighborhoods.
That's beautiful, man.
So it's incredible that we have all these gifted, genius talents in our neighborhoods who aren't getting the nurturing and the love they deserve. So when she brought this, it was like, this is a story I've been wanting to tell. This is the stories that I grew up with. This is my story in so many ways.
No.
And I had to do it. And I'm so glad that you championed it for so long. I mean, I know the crazy battle that Carla had to fight in the Hollywood system, because they say they're for us, but they never do our stories, no matter what.
Yeah, man. And when they do, they always manip us. You know what I mean? They undercut something, or I mean, it was such a really powerful, film. And Miami, like New York, for me, reminds me of the Bay, reminds me of the Mission District. A lot of the Black and Latino, overlapping culturally, and the communal love. I remember the one scene when you had went to, I think, the first tournament, and you were explaining to the student how how your son had died, and what I'm saying, in that one scene, man, you almost had me crying up in there. You know what I'm saying? Like you've I mean, again, I'm not new to your work, but like you're always really good at like capturing characters capturing the essence of emotions and things like that. And I wanted to ask you, like, when you're doing a film, you know, you have to become this other person. Mm-hmm. How much of yourself, maybe in that scene in particular, but in acting in general, do you bring into those moments? And then when you finish a film, how long does it take to find yourself, or do you always know?
No, you don't always know the overlap, and sometimes the character you're creating takes over, and then you don't understand why you're, you know, throwing tantrums, or why you're depressed, or why you're so giddy. You're like, you know, my family's put up with a lot, but I think the beauty of real acting is not pretending. Acting is not lying. You have to become the character by using yourself to meet the character. I'm not a big fan of actors who create a character, but they're not in it. And I feel like they're not really in it. I'm not seeing them. I want to see some of them. I want to see your soul.
Right.
Like,
you want to see
great
that
writing.
absorption.
I want to see that writer's soul. But if you're hiding, it doesn't move me as much. You know, I mean, I like the skill, but I want to see the whole artist, the skill and the artist at the same time. That's what I aim for.
And so, Carla, when you approach John and he says, yes, okay, I'm down. My first question is, John, because I can imagine people throw scripts at you all the time. Every year of your life, you're turning around, you're going down the street, you're having sushi, someone's trying to bring a script to you, right? Like, out of all the scripts that you get dogpiled with as just a part of your regular life, what made this one speak to you?
Obviously the subject matter, right? But you know, I get a lot of subject matter that is near and dear to me, just not, you know, as well executed. And, you know, this had Dita Montiel, who's half Latin, half white, wrote this great script, who wrote Recognizing Your Saints. And he writes incredible dialogue, man. He's a masterful dialogue creator. I mean, and he captures this community, he understands it, and he loves it. So when I read this, I was like, oh my God, this sounds so authentic, so real. And that's what I think elevated the whole project as well, besides the you know, the winning. I mean, this incredible, inspiring story of what can be done if kids are given the right supplies, given the right funding, given the right kind of nurturing. Yep. Right.
Carla, when you know, finally go, okay, this thing is happening. And now, you know, John, you're gonna be the director. What does that actually mean to people outside the film world? What does it mean to be an executive producer, Carla? And what does it mean to direct? And what was this like for your directorial debut? Carla, we'll start with you.
Well, I want to just piggyback on what John said when you asked him why did he choose this? You know, I'm not in his head. So I was at one point, or in his ear.
Still are.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like I always wondered, like, why it took so long, and I think it's because this was written for John. In my heart, I feel that, and it was so timed properly, for him, because he had just finished Latin History for Morons, which
right.
Look at that. That's just like the finger roll, right? And coming out of that, right? Like,
that
came this. Yeah. No, but he still had, exactly. He's still, let's do a new dance. No, but I feel like he had been a teacher, you know, for so many years on stage. And I feel that he wanted to maybe immortalize it more. This is just my thing on even a bigger scale with like.
You're not wrong, Carla. You're not wrong. You're on it. Oh
my God. And then I felt that it just was the time and place, and his show had just finished on Broadway. I think that he went on the road after. But
so magnificent, by the way. So magnificent, you know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you both. Thank you both.
I went up 3 times to New York to see it. Yeah,
yes, you did.
It's fantastic. Yeah. It's fantastic.
So that's what I feel. And executive producer, I don't really there are so many definitions. It depends on the executive producer if it's just like in name only,
right,
or not. But I feel like me particularly, I think it's the ability to see like the entire thing before it actually takes place and figure out a way, whether you know how or not to get it to that exact place. And if that around first, or knowing what's around the corner before you go around the corner, or knowing what's going to happen before it happens. I don't know if that's for any other executive producer, but for me, that helped me push the project along. Balancing a lot of creative people and not trying to make sure and trying to make sure everybody's creativity went through John apart from his creativity, so that and I feel like I needed to. It was like a bigger. It was like the umbrella, I guess, and I had to just have a bigger vision of the end and how to make sure that everybody got what they needed, especially John.
What was really helpful about working with Carla was how humble she really is. I mean, she really does, protect the artist, and she does really respect an artist's vision. And that, that's really hard to find. And I'm really grateful that I got to work with Carla, because sometimes producers become a burden, or they overtake, or they negate what you're doing, and then you have to battle with them. Not Carla. Carla always lets the best idea win, and she's really humble. That's the best way,
and that's so rare. Yeah, that's so rare. You know, it was interesting,
Carla.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel that's really nice, because you've worked with so many.
It's true. I mean,
John, what was it like? Why did you choose this one to be your directorial debut? Like, I think about, again, so many scripts that get thrown at you, and I'm so glad that you chose this to be your directorial debut, because it's such an important film. What made you step into that role now, and how did it feel? Did you learn anything? Did you step away with an understanding of the filmmaking process? Maybe you really, had observed, but now could have a greater sense of embodiment.
I think what really, obviously Dita Montiel's script, the dialogue was incredible, and how he captured this, and I love the team effort. So I wasn't really the star of it. It was really an ensemble, and I love that about it.
That is true.
I love the way we all worked as a team. And secondly, the chess challenge, the chess challenge. I knew chess is like one of the hardest things to film, because how do you capture that mental process? Do I use special effects and try to show the brain? And it gets a little corny, and we try to be like authentic to the game and respect the game. And I tried to show what it takes to understand the strategies and how kids come up with it, and how teachers impart that knowledge. So all that was really thrilling and exciting to me. And knowing that, Latin and Black communities are intellectual, to negate what the status quo says about us, we are intellectual. We embrace those same patterns and the same sort of aspirations, and that's what spoke to me about this. And I did learn a lot about directing, about myself. I was like, I've done over 100 films, not all of them good, but I learned a lot. And all of a sudden I had this catalog of so much information from Baz Luhrmann, from Spike Lee, from Ava DuVernay, from Tony Scott, from Ridley Scott, from Brian De Palma, from so many greats, Brad Furman, and I just so many greats. And I had this catalog of solutions, DIY,
right. So it's like you had the recipe, plus you had your own spice to add in. You feel me?
Exactly. Yeah, I had all these goddamn recipes.
That is,
and I was like, what a wealth of information. I could just go do, and boom.
Yeah.
I want to add to John again, because he's so humble, but like his choice of his casting choices, as well as, for example, our DP, our cinematographer, Zach Zamboni. John could have picked anybody, but at that point, I had mentioned, I think, Adisa, that he was Anthony Bourdain's cinematographer his entire career.
Yeah, his entire life. Yeah.
Right. When that happened, he obviously was available, and John got him.
Wow.
And when I first met him, I said, look, if you can make a bowl of noodles look as incredible, and when people turn off the volume, they don't even care.
Right.
They just want to see the pictures. I know what you can do with a chess set. And
for sure.
I think that the film has a lot of amazing qualities, morally, spiritually, but also materially is how it was shot.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Right. And it's just a little bit of a style, but not.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you look at it again, and the close-ups, and I feel that it lended to the vision that John had to make it edgy and sports and, not just another intellectual movie.
Yeah, no. That's very powerful. That's very powerful. What Carla is your favorite scene in the movie, and then John, what is yours?
It may not be the most informative scene, but to me, it's my favorite scene, and I believe it's most people's. There's two scenes. One is my favorite scene is the blindfold chess.
Yeah.
Because I feel that it just shows even more how the inner cities have such brilliance that we have not managed to illuminate properly.
Agreed.
Properly or at all, actually. Like that world where the Northeast, the Northeast private schools are the only ones that play chess is over. Like it's been over for 20 years, 30 years, and it's enough already. It's like somebody had to illuminate that. And I believe that the way that John directed their brain achievements, their mental achievements, and illuminated such a light on them. I think that we pretty much changed a lot of people's worlds. I get contacted all the time saying, that's not me, but it could have been me. I live in Chicago, or I live in Nigeria, or I live. So that's my favorite scene. But the scene about painting us out, where Angel.
So real.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Yes, this morning, actually, I received it's on Instagram on our page, and it said, this girl said, we don't need to wait. It's actually on Twitter. You can find it. And we don't need to wait to be painted. We can paint our own scenes.
Yeah.
And she said a bunch of things, and I think that's also a pretty powerful scene. So
yeah.
Right, like Black History Month shouldn't be a month every day.
Right,
every month
you know what I mean? Come on, yeah, for sure.
Should be Latin history, not Latin History Month, but every day, every month,
straight up.
Year. Yeah. We just.
So what was your favorite scene from the film?
Honestly, my favorite scene was the most challenging, the most difficult scene, which was teaching the kids the strategies. The complication of that scene, and the way these fine young actors. We were able to improvise and keep the energy and keep the tempo and it just was such a beautiful interplay. It was like like a dream team situation. Everybody like moving up the court, passing the ball, and then finally somebody scores. And that's how I felt, and I was like wanted to challenge the audience in remembering moves, following moves, pushing their patience, and that was very exciting for me.
No, that was awesome for me, because I've taught chess in juvenile hall and then in the Mission District for so long. For me, what was my favorite scene was actually the Opera House Massacre scene, because that is actually the game that I use to show kids how amazing chess is, and I was so juiced to watch that scene. I love that. Yeah, no.
Talked about the same scene.
I love that scene so much. The Opera House Massacre. It is everything. I think that for American chess players in general, chess players period, but American chess players specifically, I'm always able to get so much emotion out of young people with that scene. It's very powerful. It's very powerful.
Yeah. That's why I picked it. It was. I had to do a lot of mad research, because I play a little chess, but not like that.
Right.
So I had to do a lot of YouTube, a lot of reading, and just try to find the best sequences that I could show, how chess is imparted onto other people.
Yeah. No, it's really an amazing thing, and I think it's an amazing time. I feel like in the last, 15, 20 years, we've seen a huge resurgence of the value of chess in Black and brown communities, you know, and I think a lot of that has to do with hip hop, you know, obviously groups like the Wu-Tang Clan and stuff like that, you know. I know, like, for instance, like I did a lot of teaching in San Jose, and one of the things that I did is I talked about Capablanca a lot. You know what I mean? Because you have to show people themselves in the history of what they're doing, right? And so, you know, I always tell my students, I go, look, if you like chess, I guarantee you there's someone from your country that's dope at it. Look it up. There's somebody, you know, whether you're Cuban or you're from Thailand, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're out there that you just haven't been told. And that's a whole, you know, there's a reason for that in itself, you know. But, you know, this movie, I think right now, like, there's never a bad time for a movie like this, but right now is the best time for a movie like this, you know. And so,
even though the SAG Awards did not nominate any Latin product, any Latin talent, and obviously it's not the SAG fault alone. It's a pipeline problem that starts in the studios who are not greenlighting Latin talent. And I know they're getting millions of scripts.
No doubt.
Even if they didn't get millions of scripts. I mean, if you can take Latin stories and make them white, like Argo with Ben Affleck, or Carlito's Way with Pacino, or Scarface with Pacino, or House of Spirits of Meryl Streep. If you can take our stories and put white people, why can't you take white scripts if you don't think that we have the scripts and put Latin people? It's the problem is fixable. It just needs to be addressed now.
Which really brings me to my next point for both of you. John, I'll ask you first. You know, like, when I remember when George Lopez did one of his first shows in the Bay Area. It was at Rooster T. Feathers, and I went, and he did a great show, and I bought his Alien Nation CD from him. You know what I'm saying? After the show, and at the time when he was on stage, he was like, because Living Color was out, and he was like, yeah, you know, I'm talking to Fox right now about my own show. You know, it's going to be on the same with Living Color. And everybody was like, yeah. And that show never happened. Yeah. Right. And it wasn't, I mean, you know, obviously I never bumped into him again or whatever, but I'm saying, like, if so many years later, the George Lopez show actually happens. Right. And I remember when the George Lopez show came out, I was like, dang, this dude's been trying to get a show forever. Because I remember when he was saying he was about to be on Fox, and it made me think about you. And I was just like, yo, like, you know, what a roller coaster it must have been for you to be a Latino actor in that time. Like, can you talk about the trials and tribulations of what it means to try to be a Latino actor at you know, through the course of
we call it Hollywoodened because they won't, you know, I mean, you have to fight your way in there. There's no way that it's coming to you.
Right.
And, you know, look at SNL. Oof. I mean, a city that's almost 50% Latin, and you can't find one funny motherfucking Latin person to put on your show in 30 years you've been on the air. It's reprehensible.
It's ridiculous.
You know,
like,
they have
you only laugh to keep from crying because you're like, how is this happening?
Crying and writing a letter.
I mean, you go on Instagram, there's crazy amounts of funny amateur people.
Many.
There's got to be people who are just a level above, but it's just a lack of appreciation effort and trying. So yeah, I mean, luckily for me, I grew up with a lot of rejection, and so I didn't care, man. So it made
you weren't disheartened
me
by
create
the rejection.
my own stuff. Yeah, it made me create and write my own stuff, and that's why I went to the theater, because the theater is not relying on gatekeepers, on somebody's opinion or somebody's taste. Because where we Latin people succeed is where there are metrics, where there are measurables. Like in sports, in baseball, we crush it. In music, we destroy. J Balvin's #1 rap artist or reggaeton artist in the world on Spotify. And Cardi B, our Dominican sister, and Camila Cabello, Maluba, J Balvin. I mean, J-Lo. Shakira. They're all crushing. But you know, and in politics, AOC, and Xavier Becerra, because votes, you can count those, and you can't deny that. But when you have to rely on somebody's opinion and taste, that's where we get crushed. And I've had to deal with that my whole life. Sort of, I didn't have the metrics, to understand what was going on. And you know, there was a lot of Hollywood wisdom going to me every time I handed a script. You know, Latin people don't want to see Latin people. Latin people don't want to see feel-good movies. That's what they said about critical thinking when I went to the studios.
Right.
And you're like, what?
Yeah, because they don't want to feel good. They just want to see themselves shoot each other.
They just want to see depressing.
You know what I'm saying? We need cocaine and more guns.
We need anti-inspiration movies. We want to see movies about our own destruction. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
So bizarre. Anyway, that's and then sometimes you start internalizing that, and it confuses your own self barometer of validity, and you're like, I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I'm not creating good enough material. Maybe I'm not. And then you go to the theater and you see Lin-Manuel. He would have never got that done if he went to a streamer network or Hollywood system. They would have been like, wait a minute.
So all of a sudden,
by a Puerto Rican. And Burr by a black man.
You know what's crazy? To your point.
They did not speak rap, I can guarantee you.
You know what I'm saying?
It would never got done.
Yeah, no, you're right.
We have the freedom because all you need to do is raise the money.
Mm-hmm. That's a great tip for young aspiring Black and Latino actors. Like straight up, like that's huge. Like theater is probably the best way out. And it's funny that you mentioned Lin-Manuel because yesterday I was watching The Sopranos and who played a bellhop in The Sopranos? Lin-Manuel. Like he's walking, like he's literally in front of the hotel and Tony Soprano's like, hey, you guys got steaks in there? And he's like, no, I don't think so. But I was like, oh my God, is that Lin-Manuel? And my lady's like, that's Lin-Manuel. We're like, what? You know what I mean? Then it was such a reminder that, you can look at Lin-Manuel and be like, he was all the way, he just walked in the game, killed it. Everybody loves him. Now he's sitting on $1 billion, can't even count all the money. But it's like, dude, he was a bellhop on The Sopranos.
He was trying
for like 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy. So
I'm doing a Disney musical with him right now.
What?
Yeah. And Canto. It takes place in Colombia.
Ooh. I'm hyped. When is that coming out? Please tell me.
No, we just started recording, so it's gonna take.
What? It's gonna be a minute, huh? It's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yo,
a little bit more than a minute.
Exciting.
Yeah.
That is exciting. And so, Carla, for you, how did you? On the very similar question, how did you endure all these years of rejection and say, no, I'm gonna make this happen? Because so much about what this movie represents to me. Not the film itself, obviously, but you two individually and collectively, it's kind of like resilience, right? The impact of resilience. So, when was the first time you pitched it and how many rejections did you take until you got it made, do you think?
I too lived a life of rejection because I came here when I was 9 and I didn't speak any English and I was beat up for a lot of years after school. So I thank everybody now.
And where'd you come from?
Venezuela.
Yeah. Okay.
But I thank all those bullies now because they gave me the air under my wings to withstand rejection. And kind of every time they would reject me, I would be like, I'm going to see you on, you're going to see whatever. I mean,
right. It's going down. Right.
I don't want to go there, but to me, I always had blinders on. If someone said no, it was almost like a fly in my eye and I would just keep going, Maybe that's the executive producer thing I was talking about that I knew it would always get done. I just didn't expect my Latina, heritage. Plus, they were telling me, a Latin woman, that nobody wants to see Latin people on screen. Just what John said, I was told 100 times. And I'm like, I didn't, didn't say bye, just whatever. I just kept going.
Right.
But can I just make do a little shout out to Riza, please?
Yeah, for sure.
You both were talking about chess.
Wu-Tang.
Yeah. With Wu-Tang. And I just want to shout out to him because his Wu Chess organization and Wu-Tang in general, but RZA's, I feel that he, took his own time and patience and everything away from his creative endeavors to just make sure that children especially in New York public schools who would have had no opportunity to learn chess, have them learn, chess. And so I just shout out because he was a big inspiration to me in particular, even before the movie was made, big inspiration. So thank you, Riza.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, we were talking
Nice
about,
shout out.
we were talking about that when I interviewed him a few weeks back, you know, because at that time, both of us were talking about critical thinking, but neither of us had seen it, but we were both juiced about it. You know what I mean? So, you know, and this is, I think, you know, between, you know, the Black and Latinos in North America, like we get inspiration from each other a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like we inspire each other a lot. And
in so many ways. I mean, in the struggle, culturally.
Yeah.
Look at Miguel, a Mexican,
Man.
you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Kid Cudi, half Dominican, half Black. Yeah.
You know,
Cardi B, half Black, half Dominican.
Yeah. I think Kendrick Lamar is Dominican. Isn't Kendrick Lamar Dominican? Isn't he Dominican? I think he's Dominican.
Is he really?
I think so. He might be, or at least his mom. What? Somebody is. I'm serious.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
Big Daddy Kane was part Cuban.
What? I had no idea.
Basquiat is half Puerto Rican.
Yeah. You know, and I mean, like, we've got to remind people of that. And that's why I'm so juiced about, you know, Latino history for morons. You know what I'm saying? Like where else is that going? Are you doing another series? Is that a one-off? Like, help me understand, because it's so beautiful.
Well, yo, I got some big news. I've joined an organization a couple of years ago, Latinos for a Latinx museum, and we just passed through Congress and the Senate with approval. So we're allowed to raise funds and search for land to create, to find a big enough museum space to contain 500 years and more of our contributions to the world. And
they're gonna have to give y'all half a Cali. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We can think of a whole state, a big large state. So that's really
a lot,
exciting, man. That it just passed.
Congratulations.
We just have to raise $350 million. It's no big. Man. Yeah, it's big. Man. That's a lot of work. Yeah.
That is so beautiful, though, right? And I think it's also interesting just to see the pivot of endurance that Blacks and Latinos have had to, have been able to manifest under such duress, right? Yeah. You know, you start to see films like this. You start to see, you know, Hip Hop Chess Federation, RZA with Wu Chess. Like, you start to see, you know what I mean? Like this forward motion and manifestation where so many people who have been invisible to the mainstream are now getting, you know, some room to breathe.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And share their history, you know.
I have to tell you, Adisa, I feel that I think John has had a big part of this, whether or not, I don't think he even realizes this. Whereas before, maybe 10 years ago, if you were an ethnic part of an ethnic group, you got your nose done, you got your face. Right. You didn't want to be part of an ethnic
anything.
Group.
Right.
Me being Latin, I've just never thought it was I never thought in a bad way that it could be useful. And not a useful like to use it, but you know, that like it was enriching enough for anybody but myself. And now I would say mainly because of John, people are now understanding that they are the custodians of their own treasure, so to speak. And now they're not afraid to explore that and express that in everything they do, from music all the way to film and back. So I feel like, you know, I must say that right now, I feel like I don't have another hero other than John to say that, because I don't think anybody has put themselves out there politically and verbally and with social media and everything else about
been so direct.
You should be proud and, you know, of this and use it. So
no, it's a tough thing, you know? Yeah, no, I mean, it's real though, you know, like I saw one of your interviews about critical thinking, John, and you had mentioned the bell curve. And I remember what that did to my self-esteem at the time.
Oh my God, it was horrible.
For people that have forgotten, will you please remind people what the bell curve was, what it did? Because I think, you know, it wasn't until you said the bell curve that I think I started to understand why I'm so hyped about right now. You know, whether it's Black studies, hip hop studies on college campuses, you know, the existence of critical thinking, you know, even just doing this podcast, right, to share and hope that there'll be some kid in Miami, some kid in Iowa, some kid, you know what I mean, in Seattle who sees this and is like, okay, that's it. I'm going after X. It doesn't even have to be chess or hip hop or acting or producing, just that they know they can do it. Like, talk about the bell curve for a minute and talk about like how that impacted you and maybe how you felt it may have impacted other people around you.
Well, the horrors of that book was because it was on PBS, it was all over the news, and the bell curve was, we didn't know at the time, fake scientists with fake research that hadn't been approved. But they were proving that Latin and Black people were born genetically, intellectually inferior, so they could never achieve the same way as white people. And it was very methodically written. It looked factual, and they were given all this time. So, you know, the whole world was looking at, oh, wow, they can't.
Yeah.
And then you start looking at yourself.
It's just not in them, huh?
I can't. You know what I mean? And you have to like look at yourself and go, whoa, what? I can't?
Yeah.
You know, you're being told you can't all the time. Anyhow.
And it's genetic. It's biological.
Yeah. So
it's
like,
not in you.
Don't even try.
Right.
And then other people are like, we can't even help them.
Yeah.
No matter what we do, how much money we pour into them, it's just throwing it away.
It was
such a horrible, horrible book. Then they finally found that they were frauds, that their research was fraudulent and made up. But I mean, it did so much damage. And then the repair was not that
instantaneous, right? And like, we got to heal ourselves. It's weird, right? Because when you look
and
at
undo the mess that they created,
how much fake science has gone into undermining Black and Latino history, spirituality, cultural contributions, right? When you think about how much money they've invested in trying to make us believe what we haven't done, what we're not capable of, when in many times we're the pioneers of what they claim to be about, right?
I mean, you see it right now. I mean, when Trump was demonizing Latin people and immigrants coming and shithole countries, I mean, he was disseminating that same BS.
It was that whole
to keep
line.
us out, to limit our funding. You know, Betsy DeVos put in there to destroy our public schools, to fund public schools by $9 billion. Now we have a Latin Secretary of Education for the first time ever who will champion public schools, because that's a beautiful, people don't even know that. That's a socialist program, public school paid by the government, the police department paid by the government, your social security paid by the government.
Right.
It's not.
Nobody wants to question their social security, even though
we're not saying become Venezuela or Russia. We're not saying, that's not what we're saying.
Yeah. No, it's
just take the best of every system and put it in,
make
in
it
American
work. That's no. Absolutely. No, absolutely. And so in closing, you know, I want to thank you both for being on Bishop Chronicles. I am, you know, I really got to say, you know, if you haven't seen Critical Thinking, you absolutely have to do it. You have to do it. And,
thank you, Adisa.
And you have to make sure, especially if you have children, I'm talking about like 9, 10 years old up, especially, make sure they see it. Make sure they see it. Make sure that they understand that they have an opportunity, you know, to express their intellectual capacity. Because I think that's so much of the value of this film is that, you know, we talking about, when I say we, Blacks and Latinos, we and women in general, we never get to show, we never get to be seen and appreciated for our intellectual capacity, you know, and that's a priceless thing, you know. So I just wanted to thank you guys for being on Bishop Chronicles, for sharing.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Adisa.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you, Carla, for all you did and do.
Yeah.
Much love to all y'all.
Yeah, it's all love. It's all love, you know.
It's all love, baby.
And so let's you know, I hope to see you doing more. I can't wait to see what you're doing with Lin-Manuel, and I can't wait to see, Carla, what you bring in the future, and hopefully you guys do more stuff in the future. I'm just really grateful for you.
I hope you get into Oxford for that fellowship.
Yeah.
Turning it in today. Many Blacks.
Yeah. Let's go.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, thank you. So look, you know, stay strong and blessed. And any final words, Carla? Any final words, John?
Well, I just everything that I want to say, you can just see it on the film. But I have to say that genius can come from the strangest of places, and it just happens to come in this movie and in real life from the inner cities. And it's time that people understand that who is actually in particular playing chess, who is actually playing chess. Just even if you just want to reduce it to that. And where is all of this genius coming from? It's not just chess, but music, and look at the poet laureate, Amanda, and where is it coming from? So once you understand that, and once you understand where it's coming from, or you think you found it, just on it, because it doesn't make you any less of a person if you raise other people up. And it was my mission in my heart for those 20 years to make sure that light was illuminating those inner cities, whether it's Miami, Detroit, or anywhere else. And I feel like we did that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You did. John, final thoughts.
I think, everybody, Latin, Black, white, Asian, just help, reach out to somebody, reach out to some kid, reach out, bring somebody into, your community, make an effort, reach out, put your hand out and give somebody a boost.
Yeah, no. That's beautiful. Well, thank you both for being on Bishop Chronicles.
Thank you for having us on Bishop
It'll
Chronicles.
drop. Yeah, it'll drop in like a week, and it's perfect because it's Black History Month. But what I'm really working on all this month is bridges between.
Oh, beautiful, man. Thank you for giving us this space.
Yeah. Many blessings, man. All right, we'll stay safe and enjoy your time in London, John, as well. You know what I'm saying? I plan to enjoy mine and
good luck, man. I mean it. I hope you get it. You deserve it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Much love. Bye,
all right,
Carla.
guys.
Good seeing you.
God bless. Bye.
Teacher, what style is that? It's my own secret technique.
Bishop Chronicles.
What's it called?
Checkmate, sucker, now the move game's over.
What's it called?
Adisa and Joko, from real. That's right.
What's it called?
Certainly the black Ron Burgundy, you
It's my own secret technique.